Thank you for watching another live edition of the East West Football Podcast. I am Fidel Barraza. Alongside with me, like always, Jerry Martinez, Kendall Whitley. What's going on, fellas?
Going pretty well, man. Hope everybody else is too, and I hope the two of you are got a big week of preseason, man. Second week.
Yeah, man. And I hate to say it, right, but I got a fantasy football league coming up pretty soon. So that's kind of been stressing, you know what I mean? For those that play fantasy football, make sure you tune into the website eastwestfootball.com. Isaac Durham does a great job as far as providing all the coverage as far as fantasy football, right?
Yeah, and I actually just had mine last Saturday, and I think it went pretty well. But we'll see. Hopefully, all the players stay healthy and no one gets hurt.
You know what? I think we should have a special segment coming up soon of our lineup, right? I think that would be kind of cool. See,
Yeah, and we'll have a lot more fantasy content this season coming up. And we're actually already in the preseason, so I might as well. Season's about to start. It's just around the corner.
it is.
All right, with that be
more weeks.
yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah. With that being said, let's go and start talking about some news that broke down today. Safety Derwin James and the Los Angeles Chargers agreed to a 4-year, $76.4 million contract extension on Wednesday, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. His $19.1 million average salary is the highest ever for a safety. I had to make sure that I was looking at these numbers correctly because that's a lot of cash.
It is, especially for such a talented individual. But I think for the last couple of since he came into the league, his first year he was phenomenal. I mean, he really changed the way the safety is played in the NFL. I mean, from going from a traditional strong safety to a free safety, and then coming down at the box, being the extra linebacker that you needed. He was, a jack of all trades. So I think if anything, he has changed it. But the only thing that's plagued him has been his injury concerns. But man, when the Chargers have him healthy, wow, that defense looks amazing. I mean, you tap in with Joey Bosa, sky's the limit, and then now Khalil Mack. So Chargers is a team that's gonna need to be reckoned with.
Just to add to what the Chargers got on defense, Asante Samuel, Jr., whatnot, J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack, Bosa. I mean, they got some people. They got the linebacker from was it out of Texas last year or Oklahoma State, I believe. Oklahoma, Kenneth Murray.
Kyler Murray.
They got
No, I'm sorry, Kyler Murray. But it's
Kenneth,
Murray.
Kenneth, yeah, Murray. They got him. They got some pieces there on that defense, and they got some good tackle depth there. But Derwin James, he's an absolute animal. He can match up with tight ends, slot receivers. He can play far back, safety, corner. He can do a lot. So it's a important piece for the Chargers. They got him locked up. He has been a little bit injury prone early on in his career, but he's still young. I think he played all the games last year. Played the full season last year, and I'm sure Fidel has a lot to say about that in the same division with his old Raiders.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's outstanding player. I'm not going to say he's not. Good for him, he got paid. But I mean, when you look at the full picture, I mean, this guy's been hurt a lot. So I mean, why give him so much cash? And I know, look, he's one of the best safeties in the league, right? I mean, some could say he's the best safety in the league. But to me, for a player that's still young and he's had some injury history in a young career, I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, that, and then look at how teams are not all in on that safety position too. So it's just you got to pick it. You got to pick your poison here, and I think that in this case, I think the Chargers see him as one of the actual pillars on that defense. So it says a lot about maybe his character. Maybe he brings a strong leadership skills on top of his athletic ability. So but yeah, it's kind of one like you said. I mean, it's crazy. I think Kyle Hamilton was the first safety in a couple seasons that we've seen go in the first round. Oh, well, actually, since Derwin James, I don't. So you know, the NFL itself. When I say NFL, I mean teams across the board. They're not really looking for safeties in the first round.
What I remember the most about Derwin is I want to say his rookie year. They played the Ravens in the playoffs. It was Lamar Jackson first year too. He came in and played, and they were I think their defense coordinator was Gus Bradley. Then they were the Chargers were playing like a nickel defense, and they had a lot of DBs on the field. Derwin James, he was chasing Lamar Jackson from sideline to sideline. He was playing the linebacker position. That was crazy. I think it was his first year, I believe. Like that was a sight to see.
Yeah, I mean, look, let me just ask you guys this. If you guys were working for the Chargers general manager, and would you guys have given Derwin James this amount of money?
I would have.
I mean, it's kind of hard, man. I like Derwin James as a prospect coming out. I was, and that year, I'm a Cowboy fan. That year we ended up with Leighton Vander Esch, but I was hoping that, I mean, because he was literally like 2 picks before. The Chargers picked 2 picks before, and it's funny because me and my buddies, we're Cowboy fans, and it's funny we always say like, the Chargers are that team that always kind of comes in and overhears what you're talking about, and jumps on your idea before you can bring it to light. So it's kind of funny that the Chargers always seem to pick the players that the Cowboys are most interested in. So I don't know. I think if he can stay healthy and he can continue the production and they can use him all over the field, I think that you need to, because I mean, look at, and I'm referring back to my Cowboys. Look at Michael Parsons. I mean, he should be playing edge rusher 24/7, but because his versatility, he's going to be playing a lot of linebacker and he's going to be able to rush. So Derwin James is that for you as a safety.
A lot of pressure on the Chargers this year.
A lot of pressure, and hopefully he's able to stay healthy. All right, Seahawks quarterback Drew Lock has tested positive for COVID-19 and will not play in tomorrow night's game against the Chicago Bears. Look, I mean, Geno Smith is pretty much all but secured the number one starting job for the Seattle Seahawks, right? But they were planning to start Drew Lock, if I'm not mistaken, but now that's kind of out the window.
I feel bad for Drew Lock.
It kind of sucks, man.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. I mean, I feel bad for Drew Lock because I think this is the week that he was supposed to get, first team reps, and then I think it was Kendall who broke the news right before we went live yesterday.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, he was going to get the first team reps or whatnot. Now he got COVID. It just seems like I told Jerry last night on the live stream, he can't catch a break. He was hurt a couple of times in Denver. Then I mean, it's just been a mess with Drew Lock. I've always liked him come out of Missouri, but I mean, they had the pieces there in Denver. Now he's at another team that has the pieces, and he's not going to be available. It's very unfortunate. And I think this is a big opportunity for Geno Smith.
It's a huge opportunity, and one that he might have not thought that he would get again. But obviously, Russell wasn't being traded to Denver, and they actually play Week 1 Monday Night Football. So that's going to be a great game to see. But I mean, what do we make of Geno Smith being a starting quarterback again? And now, especially with the Seattle Seahawks, a team that's kind of reconstructing, I guess you can say.
I mean, I think this is one of the questions I asked Kendall yesterday. Do you have confidence that Geno could can help the Seahawks be contenders in that tough NFC West division? And I think like what Kendall said yesterday, I think they've done enough. They're a young team, but they have some key pieces around where DK Metcalf has showed you the ability to adjust and make amazing catches on the fly. So I think that if they can establish a running game and get that defense rolling, I think that Geno can help you get by.
What do you think, Kendall?
I think I can agree no more with Jerry there. I believe that he has enough there. They're an incredible young team. They need some more. I think they need help on defense. They lost a lot this year on defense. And then the biggest of all is Russell Wilson. And I think I heard today that one of their running backs is on the season's in jeopardy or week 1's in jeopardy.
So it's Kenneth Walker III. He's got a hernia injury, but he should be ready to go by week 1.
Right. So I mean, we just have to see how Seattle does this year, but I don't think they have a lot of expectations. Because one thing is going to kill them. They're in a tough division. You got the Cardinals. They're going to be better. 49ers. You got the Rams, Super Bowl champions. So I think they're another team. They're just like the Steelers. They're good. They got some talent. They got some depth, but they're in a tough division.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is kind of like a reconstruction, right, of that team. So, I mean, we'll see, how far Geno Smith takes his team. I mean, hopefully he does good for them. I mean, Geno's a good guy, and obviously it just didn't work out with the Jets, and now he's getting a second opportunity, and it looks like he's making the most out of it.
For sure.
All right, so week 2 of the preseason's upon us. Guys, what game are you guys looking forward to the most?
I'm, I'm looking forward to. I just told the guys, the Browns and the Eagles. I want to see this quarterback thing that's going on in Cleveland and whatnot, and see what Jacoby Brissett can do. I think we can get a chance to see the starters this week play about probably about a quarter, or probably at least into the at least into in the second quarter. It should play plenty possession in the first. So I want to see what Jacoby Brissett can do with all those weapons that Cleveland has with the running game, Amari Cooper, Bell out of Purdue. They have a lot of weapons there. I want to see if Watson he's going to play the period. I want to see if he can bounce back. He didn't his last outing last week didn't look too good. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And then on the Eagles side, Jalen Hurts, he's having a pretty good count. And so let's see what he can do. See if he can get the ball downfield to AJ Brown, Devontae Smith and company.
Man, it's tough, right? Because we have a game. Tomorrow's? It's gonna be one game. It's gonna be Bears and Seahawks.
Yeah, we got games. We got games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday.
Yeah,
all weekend.
Aside from my Cowboys, right? Because I have a lot of concerns. I mean, they're the spillover of last season with the penalties. Of course, I'm gonna be paying attention to that game closely. But the game I want to keep an eye out for is the Ravens and Cardinals, because the Ravens have won 21 straight preseason games. So I want to see, can they keep that record intact? I mean, because regardless of what you say, I mean, momentum, it's everything in life, man. And the Ravens have done a great job as far as having a great start to their season. And if NFL teams pay attention, I think it all starts with the preseason. I mean, you build it up in training camp, but preseason, hey man, with a record like that, I want to see if they can keep it intact and see if the Cardinals are ready to.
How do you win 21 straight games? That's crazy.
But it doesn't matter because in the regular season they haven't won anything in a long time.
That's still a crazy stat, though.
It is a crazy stat. But think about other teams that are just, they were like, well, I mean, this game doesn't matter. But to them, like, no, go ahead. We're going to go for it on fourth down. If not, we're going to take, Justin Tucker, kick the game-winning field goal.
I'll tell you this: Cowboys did not win a preseason game last year, and they went 12-5. No.
So I mean, honestly, I get what you're saying, Jerry, but long run, I don't think it's going to affect any teams much if you lose.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see that, and that's on Sunday. That's a 7 p.m. game. So hopefully, if your market predicts allows it, we get to see that. It does. It's unfortunate that Lamar's not there, but in all seriousness, I think I would like to see the 49ers and Vikings. I want to see Trey Lance. Technically, it's still his rookie season, so I think that last week he kind of like gave a lot of 49ers faithful, right, a lot of hope, and I want to see if he can kind of build off of that. And of course, Kellen Mond from the Vikings. Want to see if the Vikings have a quarterback just in case, something was to happen to, in this case, you know what I mean, with COVID or an injury to their starting quarterback.
Yeah, and you know who the preseason is really important to are the rookie quarterbacks. I mean, essentially, he is a rookie. He's going to be the starting quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the roster, but he's probably going to be either traded or he's more than likely going to be cut on August 31st. So for Trey Lance, it's a very important game. I believe they were having team scrimmages against each other, and I think he threw like a 50-yard bomb earlier. I read that. Yeah, so I would
expect to see Trey Lance probably about a good quarter and a half.
I don't know, man. I mean, look, wouldn't you want to play in the first half?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the first half is good. I mean, this game I think is very important for players like this, right? Because your third game should be, because coming from 80 to 53, that's kind of hard. So you got to give that playing time to see who's going to make your 53-man roster. But it would be nice to see if, hey, is Trey Lance struggling to pick up the offense? Is he struggling to make these plays? Because if not, then we might have to keep Jimmy G. But I mean, it all looks like Jimmy G's gone.
The game I'm looking forward to the most, besides the Raiders and Dolphins game, obviously I'm a Raider fan, Steelers versus Jaguars. Obviously, we got a quarterback competition brewing right now in Pittsburgh between Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. And, as a Raider fan, whenever Derek Carr did get traded, they had signed Matt Flynn in free agency. Well, Derek ended up having one hell of a preseason, and he ended up starting week 1. So not to say that's going to happen in Pittsburgh, but you never know. I mean, Kenny Pickett did lead them to a game-winning drive, and I know it's a preseason, but hey, he's a rookie. So, I mean, that's the game I'm looking forward to the most. And then also seeing Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne out there.
That would be
Let's
fun.
not forget about Mason Rudolph. He threw a touchdown last week to George Pickens. He's in it. They haven't said he's out, so let's not forget about Mason Rudolph.
Man, but how long has he been there? And he hasn't been able to keep the job. He lost the job to Duck Hodges, I believe his name was.
It's an open quarterback competition. So
Yeah, and
everybody.
honestly, no
Kendall,
offense to him, but I think it's a two-man race. It's Kenny
Kendall,
Pickett or Mitchell Trubisky starting.
I think Fidel got us on that one. I mean, yeah, as much as we want to give, credit where credit is due, man, but Kenny Pickett looked really sharp last week. I mean, and he only played the last quarter, and look how many he threw 22 attempts. He had like an 85%, 84% completion percentage. Damn. Kenny Pickett might be the starter by the end of the year.
And you know what? I want to see George Pickens too, man. Last week he had a good game. He had a great catch, corner the end zone for a touchdown. So that's another player I'm looking forward to watching as
George,
well.
man, every time you look up on Twitter, he's making another play. Like
Yeah.
they got like I told you, they got a nice young nucleus there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That's your guy, Kendall. That's who you wanted the
Yeah.
Patriots to draft.
Man, that's what I want the Cowboys to draft, man. He reminds me so much
Everybody
of
wanted
AJ
Pickens.
Green, man. I know you guys talked about that a little bit about him on Monday, but man, his game, his size, his frame, his speed, his man, just his body control. It reminds me a lot of AJ Green, man. I mean, it's very similar to him. So it's kind of hard, right? But the thing is that this guy has a dog in him, and he's looking to start a fight on every single play.
They might be a year too early. Maybe not this year, but I think next year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And speaking of fights, Kendall, what's going on with your Patriots and the Panthers? Brian 2 days in a row.
They just mad because a couple of bands I got behind me right there is what we beat them some years back. So they and then when I was at the game last year and they were fighting out there then. So okay, wait. I don't think they're gonna practice tomorrow. I hope not, because I mean it's been brawl after brawl after brawl. So hey, I know these two teams. When you're in training camp, the long dog day of training camp, you get tired of seeing your own team. So whenever a new team come in, you ready to hit somebody else. So I just hope everybody makes it out Friday night healthy.
Yeah, true that. And then also too, the other young wide receiver that I'm looking forward to watching this week is Chris Olave. There's been reports coming out because they're scrimmaging against the Packers that he's just tearing everybody up in that secondary. A rookie out of Ohio State. He was one of my favorite wide receivers coming out of the last year's draft.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to the host, TJ. Right. I mean, shoot, man. I think you hit it right. Right on the button, man. I think that Chris Olave is going to bring some excitement to that offense. You got Jameis Winston, who we all know he's not afraid to throw the ball down the field. I mean, he's going to make some plays. So, I mean, regardless if you got Michael Thomas, if I'm a Saints fan, I'm all on board because, man, Trevor Penning looks like a bully as your left tackle, and Chris Olave looks like a superstar in the making and just waiting at that wide receiver position. But there's 3 rookie wide receivers that we're all expecting to make some big things. Of course, Jameson Williams when he comes back from his injury with the Detroit Lions, I think that's a yak monster.
Yeah.
And then of course Chris Olave, right? And then of course the Jets, the other Ohio State wide receiver. Yeah. So
Olave is going to have every opportunity because look, they got Jarvis Landry, they got Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. He's probably not going to get suspended. Olave is going to get a lot. I mean, I can't wait to see that Saints offense this year.
Yeah, he's not going to get suspended, right?
No, the report, and that's actually what I was going to say, is that the report came out earlier, I believe it was yesterday, saying that it's more unlikely that he's going to get suspended during this season.
Good news for the Saints.
Good news for the Saints, man. If it was a Cowboy, he'd be suspended. I'll tell you that much right now.
If it was a Raider, he'd be suspended. If not, he would be in jail. All right. Well, that's going to go and do it for this edition of the East West Football Podcast. We'll talk to you guys next week. Enjoy week 2 of the preseason. Have a good night.